Up next, we have a panel discussion, and this panel discussion will be led by Vivek Iyani. Vivek is the CEO and founder of You Training and Development, a leading leadership training and development company that focuses on building better millennial leaders. He is also the author of Empowering Millennials, the 5-Step Sequence, to design a life for fun, freedom, and fortune, and has addressed more than 250,000 people each year on the subject of leadership. Vivek will be moderating this discussion on youth. Vivek, please.
Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Okay, good. We cannot be talking amongst ourselves, right? Okay, so thank you for having me. And first thing I would like to do is to introduce my fellow panel speakers. Right. So the first person I would like to call up is Mr. Ram. Give him a round of applause. So Ram, as you know, right, is a business communication coach and speaker. He's got an MBA in international business. So he will be sharing a little bit on the topics. So next we have Vani. Give her a round of applause. Okay, and Vani is also the founder of Sanrakshan. She does a lot of work with relations to abuse. And we also have with us Nur Mastura. Give her a round of applause. Mastura is the founder of Back to Basics, a non-profit startup that serves the survival needs of the Singaporean community. And last but not least, we have Ms. Padma Shekhar. She is the principal of Trio World School, Bangalore. Give her a round of applause. So everyone has a mic? Okay, great. So when I was tasked to moderate this discussion, the first thing that came to me, because we are all talking about youth, and we are talking about stress, we're talking about abuse. The first thing that came to my mind is, have you ever felt stress before? Yes? Okay, then my first question, right, to the panel is how do you cope with the different kinds of stress you have? What are your coping mechanisms? Maybe let's just start with that.
I'll give one short story. Last time when I was young, people used to disturb me. They kept calling me fat. So I cried to another fat person, my dad. Then he asked me, why are you crying? Because people say you're fat. He said, you're not fat, you're just easy to see. But he told me one thing very nice. He said, fat doesn't mean fat. Fat means part, authentic, and talented. So the point I was trying to highlight is actually the concept called reframing. So a lot of times when we look at stress, we have this opportunity of looking at whatever situation and reframing in our mind and seeing that does that really affect us, or is there something that we can learn from it. So a lot of times when we have this ability to look at a situation, we can see there's a lot of lessons behind it. And I had a situation before where there's talking about bullying. One experience was, even till today I get bullied. Even like when I went back, one short story was I went back to reservists, and I had this person who actually was using profound words and even scolding my mother and so on and so forth. And at that point of time, I realized that if any action that I did, like in terms of aggression or what, it might affect the other fellow army mates and myself. So I realized that how do I actually overcome this experience. So a lot of times you tend to be like crying inside, but I found out that a lot of times it's not being so concerned about the external environment, but finding the strength within. So one of the things I got to understand is I started to reframe that experience, and I realized that do I want to let the environment affect me, or this person be the bullier, or do I want to have the courage inside to actually become that?
So basically, reframing your ideas, right? Reframing what happens. How about you, Vani? What are some defense mechanisms you have to cope with stress?
So I believe, first of all, let me say Rahul and Sindhu, very good work. Amazing what I have heard today. Brilliant work, kids. Keep it up. Well, about the stress, I think we have already got so many stress busting exercises from the kids. But I believe there are two kinds of stress. One is a good stress and another one is a bad stress. So when I was working as a molecular biologist, of course, it was all about सारी उम्र हम मर के जी लिए, because I was also forced in that job and I was good at it, but the stress was bad and it was definitely adding on and piling on to my whole life and bringing in a lot of diseases and all those things, right? Then it so happened that I started my journey with Faith Foundation in India, Bangalore, and with Sanrakshan, Singapore, where now I work with children and women. It is a good stress. There is stress, but since I love this stress, it's a good stress. And the coping mechanism that I generally follow is to probably go back silently, sometimes just meditate for a while. That really helps. And if I don't have time to do a 15 minutes meditation, I always close my eyes and go back to my core. And when I go back to my core, I feel that, okay, I'm back within myself and it just de-stresses me out. And sometimes even chanting works. Chanting some good mantras and connecting back to oneself. And one more thing that I follow is, because sometimes the work I do takes a lot of courage, and sometimes you need to you need to get your fears away from you while doing this work. So I have this pose which is called the Superman pose or the superhero pose. And once I stand in the superhero pose, when your feet are like shoulder.
Would you like to show us?
Sure. So your feet are shoulder width apart, and your hands on your back, and you stand straight and you look in the sky. That's my Wonder Woman pose. I do it for 1 minute and I'm back.
Right. Give a round of applause. You also would have a lot of experience. Share with us, how do you cope with all the stress?
So okay, so I'm just going to tweak that a little bit because I think a lot of us are going to speak about how we individually cope with stress, or bullying for that matter, right? So one of the things that I just want to share a story, a quick one, because I think when it comes to stress, there's you see people who are stressed themselves, and then you see people who are causing the stress, right? And then you see the people in between who have either witnessed someone in distress or someone who has caused stress. So I remember this incident when I was in secondary 3, so 15 years old. So in my class, there was 3 individuals. So me, another girl, and one other girl who we shall call the stress causer, right? So this other girl who was the victim of stress, she was very quiet. You know, she's a very meek, tiny, like if you think I'm tiny, she was half my size, okay? And she, on the first day of school, she came to our class late. She joined our class late. And on the first day of school, she came into school with, her hair was plaited and she had a flower in her hair. And in Singapore, right, that is not common, that's not a common scene. So, you know, we had people laughing at her, oh my god, you have a flower in your hair, why are you in school with your flower in your hair, that kind of thing. You know, but obviously, you know, she was Hindu, so she, you know, had prayers in the morning, that's why she had flowers in her hair. Now, the stress causer apparently knew this girl from primary school, right? And so one day, you know, we decided to talk to her, like, oh, why are you always so quiet? Why don't you hang out with us? You know, what's happening? And she then told us that she's scared of the stress causer because since primary school all the way up to secondary school, she had to do the stress causer's homework, right? So not only did she have to do her homework, stress causer would give her homework and say, finish my projects for me, you know, blah blah blah. And so she just decided to just, you know, she was very closed in because of that. So when I heard that, I was like, what? You've been doing her homework. Obviously, I would say, why don't you do mine as well? But no, I didn't say that. I said, this is not right. You know, like, so, you know, I had a group of friends with me and I said, you know what? So we were trying to pump her up, right? We said, look, when she comes into the class, I want you to stand up, I want you to shout at her, and I want you to just let go. And she's like, no, I can't do that. She's so big. She's gonna, eat me out or something. And I said, no, you have to do it. And she's like, no, I can't do it. She's been doing. She has been in that environment for so long that for her to just break out of that shell was so hard for her. Even though she had people standing there telling her, if anything happens, we will stand in for you. But eventually, she plucked up the courage. So Stress Causer walked into the class. I didn't even expect what was going to happen. Because she stand up and she yelled words we should never hear. She just yelled at the girl and she said, I'm never doing your homework again. And she was screaming and Stress Causer literally just looked at her and then just walked out of the class. And that was the last day she had to do the girls' homework. But the moral of the story is this. I think a lot of young kids here today, I hope none of you are victims of stress or, for that matter, bullying that causes stress. But it is very important as people who are observers, that you need to look out for people who are in these situations and you need to be able to support them. Because for a lot of these people who are in stress, whatever that causes stress, you really need that point of support, someone you can lean on. Because otherwise, things like, people, they think suicide is the last resort. They end up harming themselves, a lot of these other things. So yeah, thank you.
Just one note, do not stand up in class and yell words that, Okay, how about you?
Yeah, I think all of you do get stressed, right? At some point, even cooking sometimes becomes very stressful. And I think we've shared a lot of techniques. Yes, when I get stressed out, and I also tell my teachers that the me time that you get, at least 2 to 3 minutes, just be alone and do nothing. And we've also learned, when the teachers get stressed out, it starts reflecting on the children. They start passing on their stress factor onto the kids. The kids do not know how to react, and then it's a vicious circle. So we do these meditation techniques and the mindfulness techniques exactly the way she said. I think the jargons differ from one to the other. There is something called centering your body. So you stand with both the feet firmly on the ground, the core tucked in, and there is the breathing technique called the 7-11 technique. So when you want to relax, you inhale 7 times, 7 numbers as you count, and you exhale for 11 counts. When you sometimes want the energy, when you're feeling very lethargic, reverse it. So you do 11 times of inhaling and 7 counts of exhaling. You can try it out and see. It really works wonders. So when I'm stressed out, in the evening I go for a walk, sit in the park, just take 5 minutes there, do nothing there, just sit. And then when I come back, I really feel refreshed to start my day again. Thank you.
Yeah, moving on, right? Why do you think people get bullied in the first place? Is it because we don't tell people that we want to be bullied, but somehow people can sense, hey, I can bully this person, I can bully that person. How do you actually give up the vibes that this person can be bullied? How does that happen?
I think I've seen a lot of places where there are people who appear very pushy, dominant, vociferous. The moment you see such people, the others start getting signals and they start withdrawing. When they start withdrawing is when I have seen that they start getting bullied. We've seen this with small kids in school, we've seen this with younger kids in school, because in a crowd not everybody is going to be the same. So there are some who are very, very loud, do not allow the others to talk, and overpower them. That is when the other person feels very threatened and withdraws. I've seen it with my children happening in school day in and day out. So I think there the person knows that person can be easily a pushover. I can do what I want with the other person.
And is it usually always the loudest voice that is bullied?
No, the size also matters. Sometimes the huge ones.
Yeah.
They also look very threatening to the others. And the tone of voice. I think all these 3 are very important factors when the other person feels very threatened about getting bullied.
And what we do notice among the youth is also that once you get used to people telling you what to do, the next thing that happens is you can't discriminate between abuse and bullying. Right? I think Vani will be the best person to share a little bit about what's the difference between how do you tell this is becoming abuse from just mere bullying.
Well, there's nothing called mere bullying. Bullying itself is a form of abuse, right? And it is, if other person is not willing to accept, or if it is harming another person in any ways, it is abuse, right? So saying that bullying is not abuse is not okay, but at the same time, since most of the times when we are talking about bullying, we are talking in the context of the schools, and then the age that is involved is probably minors. So we do not put it as a form of abuse. But coming to your previous question, there's always a psychology behind it, and it is about power play. If you look at the person who's bullying another person, this person must have robbed of his or her own power in some ways in their house, in any other setting. They have this insecurity, and where they find it is when they go to school and they see a child who is probably on whom they can overpower, and then they will make them the prey of their bullying. And this is same with abuse also, especially with sexual abuse. It is again mostly about the power play, because the person who's a pedophile or the person who's abuser is actually insecure person, and the only place where they can put their power is a child who is a lesser or a weaker person as compared to this person. So to all you children who are there, if you are getting bullied, make sure you raise your voice. And if I may, can I share a small story?
Yeah.
So, very quick. So there was a time when I was in Cambodia, and my child was waiting for me to come, and he shares this story that, Mom, I went to school and there's this another guy who pissed on my head. So, I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to complain, but I'm very scared about it. I don't know. How can I do that? So, the job of another person is to stand by the person who is being bullied. I told him, go ahead, complain with your principal. I will stand with you as you complain with your principal. And when he did that to the principal, he found his power. And then in the bus, when this story became hit, everybody from the school was coming to him and telling him, can you please tell principal this also? I am being bullied for this, I am being bullied for that. So most important thing is, it doesn't matter what is your physical your physicality, how you look like, raise your voice, even if it is a soft voice. Just go in and speak about it, right?
And just maybe a final point, Ram, how can we reorient ourselves to think positive when we are in a very victimized state? We feel weak. We feel like we are, body is all down, state is down. At that kind of stage, when you look at a bully, obviously a bully looks stronger. How do you become stronger than the bully? How do you raise the voice? How do you find the strength?
I think maybe I'll just share one personal story. When I was 14 years old, I did not do well for my exams. In fact, I failed my English and my maths, and I actually attempted suicide. It's a bit shocker, right? You won't expect me to actually say this out, but actually the reason why I was attempting suicide was I wasn't brave enough to even attempt suicide. I was actually getting attention. And what I was trying to say is that the bullies can come in the form of your friends who actually use the experience that you had in school. Even till today, they remind that story again and again. So the point is that if we keep on letting the bullier create that stress to us and give that meaning, you're giving them the upper hand. So if you have this ability to change that and give new meaning to whatever experience, you just, your physiology, when you change the physiology, the psychology automatically changes. Like, earlier we did that movement, right? Just try the simple exercise. Just look up and think of something positive. Think of a time that you did something very well. When and where were you? What were you doing? How were you doing? How did it make you feel? Now bring that experience back. have you noticed that you're thinking about your strengths, things that work in your favor? So a lot of times when you find this empowerment inside, like earlier when the other speakers were saying, your strength inside can outweigh the bully from outside. And every one of us has the strength inside. You know, there's a saying that if you believe, it will materialize. First and foremost, you must believe that you are a winner. Shall we just try and say this count of 3 to 1? Let's say, I'm a winner.
I'm a winner.
But say it with a bit more conviction. Just like the physiology, and say, I'm a winner. Now with the fist up and punch up and say, I'm a winner. How does that make you feel? You saw
You
it?
should, right?
Yeah, that's the technique. It's a simple technique.
So next time the bully comes to you, you go to the toilet, you pump yourself up, okay, and then no, it's true. You may be surprised, but a lot of the speakers, when they are nervous in front of stage, they pump themselves up before they face the crowd. It's not easy to be in front of 1,000 people or a few hundred people and giving a talk. So they actually do that. The same technique, if it works for public speaking, virtue will also work when you're facing someone who is very important or someone who is even bullying you. Alright?
One point to mention about if ever you come on stage and you're afraid of, I have already frozen on stage, I laugh. It resets everything and then you can start again.
We are all nervous here. That's
Okay, so with that, give our panel guest speakers a round of applause.
How's everyone feeling today? Still okay? Thank you so much, panelists, and thank you, Vivek, for the interesting discussion. Up next.